Let's get started. Let me bend the camera down, and I hope none of you get seasick with me doing this. There we go. There's my work surface. And I thought I would start just with basic conditioning. Now there's several ways you can condition clay. I'm going to open, this is the Primo white. I'm going to open the white, and this is a brand new pack of clay. Now this pack is a 2-ounce pack. And I will be honest, I don't usually buy black and white in the 2-ounce packs. Matter of fact, I have an order here that I don't even think I've opened yet. Where I ordered some clay because I'd run out of black and white, and it's amazing. You don't realize how much you use black and white, and I apologize for me not showing you what I'm doing, but this is the way I buy my white. And I usually buy my black that way. Well, I did. I bought some black. And then I had one color I needed the color of, and that's the sunshine. Yes, sunshine. But this is the way I buy my clay because I use so much of the black and white. But I know that you're not at that point, or at least most of you aren't. So I am going to start with what you would use, which is a 2-ounce block of white. Now, I have never done a brown and white Skinner blend. So I thought I would start with that. But I'm going to start first with conditioning. Now, because this is about a half a pack, I'm going to cut this in half, just so my proportions will be about the same. And that's usually the way you do a 1-part or a 2-part Skinner blend. I will do another video showing like a 3-part and maybe even a 5-part Skinner blend. You can do a rainbow blend, and it's just a lot of fun. But first we need to condition our clay. So I'm going to set the white aside, and when I condition my clay, if I'm starting with the Primo out of the package, I slice it into little slices like this. And this is where I need to go over to my pasta machine. I've got some, this wasn't a complete block, but I had stuck some pieces right there. But let me show you, before I even think about going into the pasta machine, I start lining these up. And try to put the same, like thicknesses together. If one is thicker than the other, then that's really okay. It's not a big deal. Matter of fact, I think I can put these two together because those were two thin ones. And the very first thing I do is I roll it with my roller. Now this is something I learned from Donna Cato. And Donna, if you've ever used Cato clay, you know that her clay, everybody says, oh, it's so hard to condition. But if you do it the way she shows you, and she has a video on her website, theprairiecraft.com, you can, even just doing that little bit, just rolling it a little bit flatter, sort of starts the conditioning process. And it softens the clay a little bit. And I'm going to stick this one, I think, across the middle. Well, let me roll this one. This is my piece. And I'm just going to roll that. You see it stuck to my roller. That's okay. I accomplished what I wanted to do, and that was to flatten it out. I'm going to flatten this out a little bit. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just flattening it out. So now I'm going to stop the video, and I'm going to move my camera over to my pasta machine, and I will be right back. Okay, now I'm at my pasta machine. And hopefully you can see. Now my pasta machine is 5.5 inches wide. This is my cutting edge, my shark ruler. It's magnetic. And it also comes with this, the little shark magnet that will fit down in here. And what this does is it helps you to keep your clay a certain width. And I am going to show you that, but I'm going to show you that later. So right now, this is my pasta machine. If you're wondering what this is just a little cardstock, sort of a half box. I just mitered some corners here and stapled them, and it's the width of my pasta machine, and I put that under here to catch all the little stray, you know, pieces of clay that have a tendency to fall. So I've got my brown clay over here. And let me get it up off of my workstation. And I'm just using my blade to do that. So now what I'm going to do, first I'm going to make sure it's on the widest setting of my pasta machine. Mine is motorized. Yours may not be motorized, but I'm just going to turn my motor on and run this through. Okay, so now this is a #1 setting on my pasta machine. Now I'm going to take the next one. So now I have two that are on the #1 setting of the pasta machine, and I'll put those two together, and I'll turn them sideways. Now those two are combined into one piece that's the widest setting of my pasta machine. I still have this piece, and I have the little piece. Remember the little piece that I did? And I'm going to lay those on top of the sheet, the other sheet. So now this is, again, like having two layers at the largest setting of the pasta machine. This is a 0. I say #1 because every machine I had before this one was all, #1 was always the thickest. Now it's 0, but I'll just try to say the thickest setting of the pasta machine. So now I'm going to roll this through. And this would be the same if you're cranking. It's like these elbows just don't crank very well. And I'm going to turn the machine on, and I will try to turn the sound off if I remember to do that when I process this video. And I'm going to just run this through several times until it's fairly well, you know, all these little seams disappear, and it's going to be shiny all over. So here we go. I might say again, when I fold this, which is I run it through and then I fold it. And I'm going to be doing this a lot, coming back and saying I'm finished, and I'm going to come back and say, but do this. But you fold it in half, and you always put the folded part either down on your rollers, like this is the folded edge right here, or you can do it sideways. It depends on what you're doing, and you will find the more experience you get with polymer clay, the more that you will understand the advantages of moving it sideways. I may even do it here, and I'll tell you, when you put it in sideways and then fold it up, turn it and put it in sideways, and if you keep going around and around and around, your clay will be more rectangular when you're finished. So see if you can see this happening as I roll it through the pasta machine. Now you can see that it's not perfectly rectangular, but it's much more rectangular than if we had just kept rolling it through in the same direction. And this comes in handy, especially if you're going to do Skinner blends, and that's what I'm going to use this clay for. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing with the white. I probably should have done the white first. You always start with your lightest color. But I'm going to turn the camera off. I'm going to go ahead and slice my white, and then I'll be back over here and I'll show you this process again, just so you can see twice, so that you can see how to condition your clay. Be right back. If you don't mind the camera being a little lopsided, rather than move it again, I can do this. I just tilted it, and you can see that I put my like sizes together, and I'm just going to roll it with my roller, and I'll roll this one with my roller, and I'll roll this one with my roller. I just wanted to make sure you remembered everything that I did to condition this clay. Alright, now let me see if I can turn this around. Again, I don't want you to get dizzy. But there's my pasta machine. And I'm going to roll this pair. And if it splits like this, that's okay. It's all good. This one even came apart when I picked it up, but that's all right. The important thing is that you just put it through. You can even do it one at a time. This just kind of saves a step. So now I'm going to take the one that I rolled and put this one on top of it and run it through sideways. Then I'm going to take another one, my last one. I'm going to lay that on top of this one and roll this through. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with this as I did with the brown. I'm going to fold, and I'll run it through the first time with the fold against the roller. But after that, I'll start rolling this way because I want another rectangular piece of clay. And that's all there is to conditioning fresh clay. Now there are times that you might have old clay that's a little bit older and more difficult to condition, and I will do that one in another video. But this concludes the video on conditioning clay.